Hello everyone, I am Dr. Srikant Reddy Bogle. I am interventional cardiologist practicing here in Bidar. So in today's session, I would like to tell you in brief about heart attack. So as you all know, heart attack is a leading cause of mortality worldwide, and it is so in India. But we have more problem when we compare to our counterpart in Western countries because this disease is prevalent a decade or a 2 decade, you can say, earlier in our population when we compare to the Western population. So we see a lot of young adults in their early 30s and 40s are having this heart attack and succumbing to losing their life to the heart attack. So let us know what is this heart attack exactly, what is happening, what is the pathophysiology about this heart attack, and what preventive measures we can take so that we can avoid such attacks. So as all of you know that the main function of the heart is to pump the blood so that the oxygen and nutrient is supplied to each and every tissue of our body so that they can function normally. And heart works relentlessly 24/7 without stopping. And our heart is made up of specialized muscle tissue called as myocardium. This myocardium contracts and relaxes continuously, so it requires continuous supply of energy, which comes through the blood. And this blood to our heart is supplied through the specialized arteries called as coronary arteries. So here you can see these are the arteries which are usually around 3 to 5 mm in diameter in adults in our population. So these are the arteries which supply the blood to the heart. And any obstruction in these arteries will lead to the lack of blood supply to the myocardium, which will lead to ischemia and infarction to the myocardium. So what is the pathology for this blockage in this artery? As you can see, this is the enlarged figure of the coronary artery. Here you can see this yellow part. This is nothing but a fat deposition, and these are called as plaques. So this fat deposition, which take place due to various reasons like aging, various other risk factors like hypertension, dyslipidemia, diabetes, and these plaques, with time, if this stenosis goes on increasing and at some stage, if it blocks completely, complete occlusion of these coronary arteries, leading to the sudden stoppage of the blood flow to the myocardium, leads to the heart attack, that is acute myocardial infarction. So this is a coronary artery disease, which is a spectrum of disease ranging from a milder form, that is stable angina, where you get chest pain on exertion, to a severest form, that is acute myocardial infarction, nothing but an heart attack. So this is atherosclerosis. Now what happens in younger patient usually, these plaques are unstable plaques. Okay, so sudden rupture of this plaque due to some acute event, stress or smoking, will lead to the cascade of mechanism leading to the blood clot. This you can see, this red part is a blood clot here. Okay, so this leads to sudden occlusion of this coronary arteries and sudden stoppage of the blood to the myocardium, leading to the myocardial infarction or heart attack. Now, this is an emergency condition which requires immediate attention. So now, what are the symptoms of acute myocardial infarction or heart attack? How does the patient presents? So usually this patient present with typically retrosternal chest pain, which is very severe pain. Many describe them as stabbing pain or gripping pain, and this pain radiates to the jaw or to the left upper limb mainly, and sometimes very rarely to the right upper limb and also back. And these are associated with other symptoms like sweating, perspiration, palpitation. Sometimes patient may have dizziness, giddiness. So there are various presentation and there are some atypical presentation also, and especially in the older adults and women, they may not present with typical chest pain. They may present with just fatigue or weakness. And when right coronary artery is involved, so many a time they may present like an acute gastritis, a burning sensation in the epigastric region. So many patients will confuse it with gastritis and they may delay approaching to the physician. So these are the various presentation of heart attack, which may different patient may have a different presentation, combination of this presentation. So what to do when a patient present with such symptoms? Immediate medical attention is required. So patient need to be shifted immediately to the nearest hospital, where earliest ECG has to be taken. So ECG usually helps physician to decide whether this is an heart attack, like a myocardial infarction. There are certain blood markers also which helps to diagnose heart attack, and then even echo will help and diagnosing the heart attack, like regional wall motion abnormalities will be there in the echoes, and also it helps in seeing some of the complications of the heart attacks. So such kind of patient requires immediate treatment in the form of antiplatelets, that is ecosprin or ecosprin and clopidogrel and statins, which helps in stabilization of this plaque, this mechanism, and it also anticoagulant, which limits the further progression of the disease. So the best treatment right now in the world is to immediately shift such patient to the cath lab wherever the facilities are available. Get an angiogram done. In angiogram, we can define the coronary arteries. We can see the blockage in infarct artery. So I will show you one picture what actually we do in cath lab. So this is an angiogram where this is a blockage where this has been dilated, opened with the balloon, and then a stent has been placed. So the occlusive artery has been opened and the circulation has been restarted. This is the best treatment what can be done. So wherever the facility is not available, the second best treatment is to use certain thrombolytic drugs which are available. So these drugs helps in dissolving the clot and reestablish the circulation, but these are less effective when compared to the angioplasty. And these patients may later on shifted to the hospitals with the facility of cath lab, and where an angiogram again is done, and if required, angioplasty is done further. So most important thing is urgent treatment of such patients, because what we say is time is muscle in heart attack patient. So as early as possible, we reestablish the circulation, we save the muscles, myocardium, and this helps in reducing the mortality, saving the patient, and also reducing the morbidity. That is quality of life. In future, the quality of life is improved. I mean, we can because once the patient has a complication like pump failure, or they go in a failure, they have a severe LV dysfunction, their quality of life again goes down. So that's why an urgent intervention is very much necessary in case of heart attack. We need not waste the time. We should approach the doctor as early as possible, and it should be diagnosed as early as possible, and earliest treatment will salvage the myocardium. So this is about how the patient present in the heart attack and what treatment ideally need to be done. Now coming to what are the risk factors, why does this coronary arteries get blocked? What are the risk factors for atherosclerosis? So coming to risk factors, again, there are basically these are classified into modifiable and non-modifiable risk factors. So non-modifiable risk factors are the one which are beyond our reach, like aging, hereditary, like this disease found in the families, it runs in families, and then you can say race, like black people are more black race is more commonly affected compared to the whites, and then males compared to the females up to the age of 45 years. They are more commonly affected because females are protected by their hormones, premenopausal females. But nowadays we are seeing this more tendency of even young females getting myocardial infarction. So the reasons are different here, like stress and lifestyle changes, which I will come to on those topics. So in non-modifiable risk factor, what best we can do is to do the routine health checkups, to screen, like doing ECG, blood lipid profiles, sugar level annually, at least annually or biannually, and then we can screen and see if there are any risk factors which can be treated as early as possible. Whereas there are various modifiable risk factors like hypertension, most common, then diabetes, dyslipidemia, sedentary lifestyle, stressful lifestyle, smoking, alcohol, most common addictive behaviors which are found very commonly in the young people. Then obesity, which is again very common nowadays. It is like a epidemic or a pandemic, you can say. Obesity, it is coming up. So these are all the modifiable risk factors which we can prevent them. Like if a person is detected with an hypertension or diabetes, their blood pressure has to be maintained under control with various medications available. And in diabetes, sugar levels need to be maintained, and they need to be regularly checked for their blood sugar levels. Same way for dyslipidemia, wherein high levels of LDL cholesterol, which we call it as a bad cholesterol, need to be controlled, and a good cholesterol, which is HDL, high density lipoprotein, need to be increased in the body. This can be done with various lifestyle modification, like regular exercise, which is recommended. At least brisk walk for minimum 30 minutes, 5 days a week is what is recommended. This is the minimum what we can do. Anything better than that is always acceptable. And then diet, most important part, like in a diabetic patient, they need to avoid sugars, they need to avoid high carbohydrates, fatty diets. So need to avoid dairy products, then meats, oily foods, ghee items. They need to add up more of fruits and vegetables, high fiber diets in their diet, routine diet, and nuts can be used, and there are the oils can be changed at least every 3 months. Sunflower suffer more of polyunsaturated fatty acids. The diet should contain less of saturated fats and more of polyunsaturated fats. So these are the measures, and then the persons who are addicted to smoking and alcohol need to quit those. Smoking is one of the major cause for heart attacks in the young adults in Indian population, because the mechanism here, what I have described, apart from that, smoking leads to vasoconstriction, the constriction of the coronary arteries, which leads to acute attacks in young adults here. And also their lifestyle, like very stressful lifestyle, and even the environmental pollution. These are also the risk factors which may lead to this coronary artery disease. So for stress, it is better always to have a recreational time, do a meditation, do yogas, get a time, spend more time with families, be more relaxed, restrict your job to certain limited period, enjoy your job. So these are all what preventive measures we can take for various risk factors. And then last but not the least is if someone has already suffered from the heart attack, or someone is having diabetes, hypertension, most important thing is they have to adhere to their medications as prescribed their consulting physician. So medications are very important. There are few medications which need to be taken lifelong. They need to be very careful about medications, because this will prevent them for having a second attack. These are like a secondary prevention, because second heart attack in a patient with primary and first heart attack is still more catastrophic, is still more dangerous for them. So this is in brief about heart attack, what is the mechanism, risk factors, and prevention, what you people can take. So in brief, I think I have covered most of the things. Thank you very much. Bye.